Welcome to Carmelia Chats. And today I have the pleasure of chatting with my speaker coach, Ron Sang, leadership communications expert and professional public speaker. Ron, thank you for being here.
Carmen, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And I want to just talk about this. Thank you for bringing this. I have not read it yet. But this book is From Presentation to Standing Ovation. Tell me about what's in here and how did this come about?
Well, Carm, an ovation can mean many different things to many different people, but it's really about making sure that you've got that connection with the audience. No matter who the audience is, whether you're talking with one person, you're on a date, or if you're talking to 1,000 people in a conference, making sure you've got that connection with the audience, they have shared understanding and shared meaning with you, you're on the same page. Maybe you're closing a deal, maybe you're winning over the audience, maybe it's a standing ovation. Having that ovation communication is critical. And the book shares all the lessons that I learned as someone who is not a natural born communicator. All the things I've learned to help people like you.
Can you imagine being on a date and you get a standing ovation? Is that what this book is going to do for me?
I can't guarantee you that.
Okay. So communication is crucial when it comes to, making a connection. And clearly on a first date, it matters. Can you share some communication tips that can be translated when you're on a first date?
Sure. Like I said, Carm, public speaking is public speaking. When you're speaking to one person, whether you're speaking to one person, you're speaking to 1,000 people. You have to get the ideas from your head into someone else's head so there's shared meaning and shared understanding to avoid miscommunication and misunderstanding. So it's really important to think about what are you trying to get across? What signals are you sending? Are you sending the messages that you want to send? Are you articulating yourself clearly? How's your nonverbal communication? Are you expressing yourself confidently? Are you signaling the messages that you want to send with your body language? Are you leaning in? Are you leaning back? Are you signaling interest? Are you interpreting what the other person or people are thinking or saying? Are you paying attention?
There are so many moving parts when it comes to communication. And I love that you mentioned nonverbal communication. And for those of you, that is body language, right? When you talked about posturing and leaning in, I'll tell you right now, if I was not happy, this would be I think it's kind of confrontational body language,
it really
right?
Is. It really
How
is.
would you express that you're interested in someone?
Well, it helps
without touching them.
I was going to say, that's one way to do that, right? Just touching their body.
That is an appropriate thing, though, is a light touch.
It is.
Right? It's not, sometimes men and women cross the line between appropriate touch and personal space to, expressing interest that's kind of like borderline creepy.
So you don't want to be creepy.
No.
When it comes to your communication on a date or in a boardroom, at a conference, make sure your body language is appropriate for the situation, appropriate for the context. So it can make sense to experiment a little bit, maybe sit in on or watch some TV shows on dating and matchmaking, for example,
exactly.
to learn what other people
Watch
do.
our YouTube channel. So Ron, at one point you were single and you were out there in the real world experiencing the ups and downs of dating. Can you share what you found was the biggest challenge when you were single and with respect to communication?
Well, when it comes to communication, I think that success comes to 3 M's: mindset, motivation, and mechanics. And I think that applies to communication and dating as well. And for me, when I was single, I think I didn't have the right mindset at the time. I was afraid to put myself out there, and learning and gaining confidence in self-acceptance, self-love, and then having the hope and the faith that things will work out is really, really important. So having that right mindset and motivation really, really helped.
Love that. So I get the mindset. Now, motivation meaning you having the, how do I say that? The confidence or willingness to get out of your comfort zone? Is that what you mean by motivation?
Well, motivation means different things to different people, but it's really, to me, about what's your end goal? Are you looking for a life partner? Are you looking to have fun and play the field? What exactly is motivating you?
Got it. And then the mechanics. The mechanics, would that mean in the practice, in how you say things, in literally, being prepared for that date by asking the right questions?
Absolutely. It's about making sure you're making the first right impression, for example, with your nonverbal communication, your body language, how you articulate your ideas, how you come across, the stories you tell. Is there a flow in how you speak, for example? How it all comes together?
I love that you mentioned stories. So one last point that I want to ask about. I feel like when you're on a date, you should have like one funny story or interesting story to share about yourself. How does one craft a story, and what do you think are the best stories to share when you're dating?
Oh, I think the best stories are personal stories, things that you see, that you hear, perhaps the stories or experiences that other people keep asking you about. Tell us again about that experience, that time you went to Spain, or the time that you did this, or that this happened to you.
The time
Tell
you
us
jumped
those
out of the
stories.
plane, someone convinced you to do that, right?
And you were naked. So tell us that story.
I don't know if you want to tell that story, but yeah, it is interesting. I love that, Ron. So how does one get a copy of your book? How do they reach you to get a hold of you and to get support with public speaking and just getting out of their comfort zone?
Sure, Carm. My book is available at Amazon everywhere, and is also available on the website standingovationbook.com. And you can find me on social media at RHTSANG on Instagram, Twitter, and you can find me on LinkedIn. And I have a YouTube channel as well.
Perfect. I'll be sharing all the links so that you can connect with Ron. And that's our chat for today. We'll be back.